This is Josiah Plays Sunless Zubmariner expansion. We're in the area of the Gant Pole. We're gonna try not to get killed by the Irrepressible, which is a very obnoxious ship that's right here. With 50 fucking crew. Don't kill us. Don't kill us. The Gant Pole. Where the Z goes to die. Yeah, I know, right, Jen? It's kind of ironic that I'm choking on water while playing a game about being underwater. Where the Z goes to die. The submarine surfaces in a pocket of air in the middle of the giant stone heart. Oh, that's what that is. I didn't recognize it before, but now that I look at the image, it does look like a heart. You are not the only new arrival. A midnight whale lies mortally wounded on a small beach of bone and blubber, moaning softly. An elderly woman in ragged red robes is carving its flesh, attended by a few disciples. I can approach the woman in red. Her hands move with expert, if incomprehensible, precision. A demonstration of haruspicy. The art of divination through entrails. Right. Because that's not nonsense. Not the most pleasant or reliable way of seeing the future, especially with the organs in question still warm and oozing as she plucks them from the great beast. Whatever she is looking for, the focus it demands exhausts her. Why don't these people ever pick something pleasant for divination? I mean, honestly, let's keep it real here. Since you're essentially just making this shit up anyway, why don't you pick something awesome like, in order to see the future, I must eat ice cream. You know what I mean? Like, in order to see the future, I must have oral sex performed upon me, and that's how I divine the future. Like, they always pick some weird shit. That's like, why do you want to dig through entrails? Did they figure that makes it seem more legit? Like, they'll believe that this is real divination, because who the fuck would want to pick through entrails if it wasn't, right? Like, does that add legitimacy to your fucking fake-ass future telling if you make up something weird and gross? I've got to take these bones and throw them down, and looking at the bones, I can see the future. Why's it got to be bones and entrails and weird shit? You must give me a face massage. Divination, yes! Divination! Man, if I could get some suckers to believe that I had divinatory powers, I would make up all kinds of fucking cool shit that had to happen for me to be able to predict the future. I must soak my feet in a pool of Gararufa fish, and then I shall see the future. Alright, so anyway, not the most pleasant or reliable way of seeing the future, no shit. Especially with the organs in question still warm and oozing as she plucks them from the great beast. Whatever she is looking for, the focus it demands exhausts her. A sudden sound, rumbling, from the tunnels, the ventricles, the sound of a stampede. Uh-oh, stampede, don't get Noxmoo excited. A cry of "Protect the mistress!" as a flood of naked old men and women wielding primitive bone harpoons charges towards the whale. Old sailors fixated on one goal, feast on the Z-flesh, whether the Haruspex is finished or not. The Haruspex fades a little more, her time draws near. The flesh reveals all. Gant Pole, portents of the deep. The Haruspex draws them from the viscera of the nearly dead. Oh god, look what you've started. Now Noxmoo is stampeding. Alright, I can defend the fading Haruspex. These sailors look old enough to collapse at a slight breeze. I can join the attack. Sailors have to stick together. Or I can stay out of it. A fight over whale blubber? Not your business. Oh, I don't know what to do here. Well, I know what to do, actually. What I need to do is fucking save. Alright. Do I defend the... I don't know. I mean, Haruspex is a pretty cool word, though. You gotta admit that. Haruspicy may be nonsense, but Haruspex is a cool word. I'll defend the fading Haruspex. A rancid rout. You stride into the melee. The Haruspex and her disciples are outnumbered, but your contribution to the fray is worth at least 10 of the elderly attackers. Their harpoons barely leave a scratch. Wrenching one from the nearest attacker, you easily hold the geriatric horde back with little but pointed gestures. So I'm beating up old people now. That feels good. The Haruspex returns to her work. From the corner of your eye, you see a little of the method behind it. Just a little, but enough to see the traces of a pattern in the grooves of a small ivory slate. She whispers and frowns, unsatisfied. The whale moans its last as she finishes up. Her work done, she thanks you with a nod and has her people allow the old sailors to approach the slowly cooling carcass. Hunt thalats, behemostash, beloveds, or triskelegants to bring more beasts to the Gantpole. I've hunted lots of those things. I've killed a thalat, I've killed 2 beloveds, I've killed a triskelegant, and I've killed at least 3 or 4 behemostashes. We're learning the ways of Haruspicy. Secrets are buried in flesh and bone. The Gantpole. The leathery carcasses of hollowed-out beasts line the ventricles of this stone heart. Ancient blubber bubbles up around paths of bone and hide that squelch with every step. Bone and hide that squelch with every step. A distant drip carves eternity into hours. That's very poetic. Carves eternity into hours. Jonah's End. The Gantpole where pocket watches go to die. Jonah's End, a naive merchant, came here in search of glory. He now makes his living selling less rancid meat to any customer he can find. Carboy of Primordial Shrieks. Fuel and supplies. Oh, that's a good price for supplies. That's the same price as Port Carnelian. That's tied for the cheapest supplies in the game. Fuel is cheap-ish, but not as... I'll buy some cheap supplies. Portentum. The Haruspex's disciples will take life, give death. Not yours, obviously. I can sell live specimens. Oh, I can sell a live specimen for 7 strange catches, really. I could sell the Heart of the Tree of Ages for a colossal flute core. I could sell a harlot fry for 10 hunting trophies. I could sell Stygian ivory for 0 Tales of Terror. That doesn't seem like a good... Alright. I can speak with the fading Haruspex. She sits in a ghoulish tent made of the bone and hide of long-dead beasts, saving her energy for the next great behemoth to reach its grisly end. I can explore further into the Gantpole. Little light seeps into the maze of ventricles beyond this chamber. Oh, I have candles. I can compile a port report. The Admiralty is unlikely to take it seriously. Ah, that favored hazing method of many a veteran sailor, saved for particularly wet behind the ears recruits. Ask your captain to deliver this to the Gantpole. Go to the Gantpole and find my pocket watch. Tell the crew, tonight we dine at the Gantpole. A hilarious jape when not standing in the blasted place and hoping someone will pay for recent news from it. I now have a port report of the Gantpole. The forgotten depths where the elder beasts of the Z go to die. I can release a Blemigan, but I don't have any Blemigans. I can deliver the lost pilgrim. What poor soul would come here willingly? But she seems happy, at least. Ooh, she gave me an outlandish artifact and some echoes. A soul with nothing left to lose. At last my pilgrimage is complete. She sighs with contentment. Slowly, reverently, she hands you a small bag of coins and an icon of Saint Croatian the Lost. Everything is left behind. I'm free. She wanders down a stone artery. A worn shoe squelches in the blubber of a dead beast. Without breaking stride, her foot slides free and she continues into the dark. At first when I read that, I thought it was saying her foot was sliding free of her body, like her foot was just sliding off of the bottom of her leg. And I was like, holy shit. But then I realized it just means her foot slides free from the sliggins that it was stuck in on the ground. Still attached to her. 50 echoes and an outlandish artifact. Alright. I guess we'll speak with the fading Harrowspecs. Oh, there she is. She's looking like she's lived a rough life. She sits with her eyes closed. A pair of disciples are wielding damp sponges, doing their best to moisten her cracked, bone-dry skin. Her fingernails have not been cut in decades. Man, those must be some really fucking long fingernails. Do fingernails just keep growing indefinitely? Or do they eventually get to the point where they're like, we're done. We're as long as we're fucking gonna get. And they stop growing. I would think they must stop growing at some point. Otherwise, it would just get ludicrous. They rattle as she beckons you forward. I mean, decades. That's a long fucking time. Sometimes I've gone quite a while without cutting my fingernails, and they get kind of long. But I mean, like, we're talking, you know, maybe like a few weeks or something at the most. Maybe, not even that long. I don't know. So you're talking about decades. I mean, that's just like... How long would your fingernails even be by then? You don't think they stop until you're dead? Wow. Alright, we can ask her lots of questions. We can ask about the art of haruspicy. What does she see in the bodies of the dead? Taking a whole bottle of nail polish for one coating? On one fingernail? Because that would be awesome. I can bring recent news to the Fading Harrowspecs. It may add context or divinations. This will boost your apprenticeship to a maximum of 3. I do have a recent news. I can ask about her. How long has she been down here? I can ask about previous visitors. No, I can't, because I don't have apprenticeship 2. I can't do this without apprenticeship 3. Let's ask about the art of haruspicy. What does she see in the bodies of the dead?
The nearly dead,
she corrects.
There is nothing to be predicted from meat but the quality of one's dinner.
A wheezing laugh escapes her lungs.
In Babylon, the quivering livers of 100 sheep showed us the fate of the first. In Rome, had Caesar only asked the right question. It is the life that leads to answers, not the meat. Down here, centuries of life, so many secrets, but the great beasts of the Z pass on so rarely. I cannot hold on much longer in the hope of finding what I seek.
Yeah, right, hunt the monsters, got it. Let's ask about her. How long has she been down here? The passage of time.
10 years? 100 years? 1,000? It is all the same after a while. The flesh keeps the body together. The mind, well, that is a trickier matter. I have coped. Others have not. You have seen them. The oldest of the sailors, with no warm bed and loving family calling them to shore. They are as much creatures of the sea as any that swim in it. The heart welcomes them, and they embrace it. It is their fate. I see a far more important one in your future.
Really? What is my fate? Alright, let's bring us some recent news. Tools of the trade. She listens intently to the latest gossip and scandal.
Oh, I missed them. Thank you. That makes many things clearer, and other things so much more confused. Let me show you some more of my art. I suspect it will have the same effect.
You're learning the ways of haruspicy. Alright, now I can ask about previous visitors. Who else has ventured down here in search of her wisdom? The tale of the Presbyterian princess.
It has been so long. The last who came here without being drawn? Long ago. Time enough that these nails were short, and this face still held some beauty.
So quite a while ago then, huh?
Oh, spare me the sympathetic murmurings. I see the present better than the future, like any other. But where was I? Yes, the Presbyterian princess was the last to find me. She came from the city on the mountain to ask the fate of an uprising. Not that of the 7 who fell, but of the 7 who follow. Would the pain be worth it, she asked. That part I could not answer.
Guess that's about all we can do with her for now. We'll have to bring her back more recent news. No more questions for now. The effort of answering is exhausting her. She nods gratefully. You take your leave, she slips into a silent torpor. Well, we do have candles, so we might as well explore further into the Gant pole, I mean. Saving on 10. Take a look at this image. Oh my god. Is that for real? Are those for real? Shut the fuck up. Are those for real? Those fingernails? Because that's insane. If those are real. What? What? That's disgusting. What? How, first of all, how do you go that many years without breaking your nail? How did they not break one of those off at some point accidentally? That's like wizardry right there. If you could let them grow that long without accidentally breaking a single one, that's amazing. Because when my nails start getting slightly long, I'll fucking break one without even, you know what I mean? And we're talking like not even remotely like, I don't know, that's crazy town right there. That is holy fuck town. Why would you do that is the question. Why? Why in the name of God would you do that? Alright, well, I was just shown an image of 2 women with ludicrously long nails, and like whatever you're thinking, they're longer than that. Like they're just, oh my god. I put that in the YouTube links. Holy shit, dude. It is holy fuck town. Yes, it is. Alright, let's explore further into the Gant pole. What? I can't unsee that. I can't unsee that. I don't understand. I don't want to meet one of those women just so I can be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? I just lost a sanity point from seeing your fucking fingernails. I had to make a horror check or some shit. Alright, let's go back into the Gant pole. Little light seeps into the maze of ventricles beyond this chamber. You hold up the candle. The flame flickers as you approach the dry tunnels. A slight breeze pulses through them, carrying with it a pungent cocktail of salt, stale air, and decay. The corridors of the heart. You wander, lost in the depths of the Gant pole. I can continue onwards and inward. Something at the center of the Gant pole calls to you, to the part of you that feels tired, weary, that craves sleep without the inevitability of wakening. The more you walk, the closer you will get. It's an almost impossible challenge. 0% chance of success, so I'm not going to do that, obviously. Gant pole corridors of the heart quality. Return to the main chamber. The writing on the wall should lead the way. Lost, lost, and thrice lost. There is no remembering the route once the candle goes out. You stumble through the darkness for just a sliver less than forever. Finally, light in the distance and the suddenly comforting smell of decay in the Gant pole's charnel house of an aorta. Oh, we made it. We made it back. So I don't know what I need to do in order to get a better chance at that strange thing, but I don't think I'm prepared for it right now. So the Gant pole is pretty much crazy town. What kind of... Gant pole. Memoirs. Menaces. Objectives. None of those objectives tell me anything. Oh yeah, I need the stuff for the tobacco. The trick is to grow your fingernails long enough that you can enter the center of the Gant pole, but your fingernails still touch the exit outside. I know, right? What the fuck? Oh, God. Undercrow. Rack. Alright, well... let's, think about what we're gonna do next. I don't even know. I don't even know. I could go back to Khan's Shadow and see if they have romantic literature. Or I could just kind of explore around the Gant pole here. Oh yeah, there's that ship that wants to fuck with me. Every damn time, the Irrepressible. Very rude. Get off me, Irrepressible. What's this? Ow. The Z's bounty sustains us. +1 supplies. Yeah, we're getting shot in whale bones. Ooh, interesting. The Z has not been kind. The colossal skull is intact, but the body has been reduced to a gnawed frame of bones. Carvings have been scored into the bones. We can examine the engravings. Are these inscriptions? 87%. Collect unknown toxins. The marrow of these beasts bear poisons. Harvest them. 90%. Or we can harvest Stygian ivory. The bones are intact and valuable. Well, I've already got plenty of Stygian ivory, I think. Let's examine the engravings. Got an intriguing snippet and some fragments. You don your diving gear. Someone has made a palimpsest of the bones. This is not a corpse, but a bone book. A Z voyage is engraved on the skull, from a city at a confluence of 3 rivers. A woman is at the helm. On the underside of a rib, the same image reversed. She returns. An ancient language is scrawled over everything. Someone has attempted to score out the words, but was prevented halfway through, or gave up. That was odd. Can I mess with this anymore? There's the irrepressible still. Damn, that ship is really on my ass. Found some more bones. Where am I? Oh, I'm literally underneath the Chelinet. Let's collect unknown toxins this time. Got some supplies. You and your crew don diving suits and swim out, armed with flasks and bone saws. It takes 3 of you to hold a rib in place, another 2 to wield the saw. Your doctor insists on collecting the marrow personally, except I don't have a doctor. It is back-breaking labor, the snap of bones, the dribble of pallid marrow. Eventually, every bone is snapped and hollow. You have taken enough. I just took fucking marrow out of the bones of an ancient whale at the bottom of the sea, and I'm gonna use that as supplies? Like, hey, this'll be tasty. Could you please get off me? Evil ship of evilness. That would be great. What do we have here? A wreck. The wreck waits below, a dark shape in dark water. What caused it to sink? And does anything salvageable remain? Retrieve sunken treasure. The cabins of the wreck are intact. Something of value may have survived. As you peer in through a porthole, a finned shadow sweeps past. Only a 65% chance here. Let's try it. I succeeded! You don your diving suit. You lead a small crew down to the wreck. The lights of your Zubmarine scratch at the darkness around you. Of the fin or its owner, there is no sign. I now have 30 times salvaging a wreck. What have you found? Could anything of value have survived? A hemp sack. The sack is almost rotted away. There is a promising bulge at the bottom. A handful of scintillac. Wow, 5 scintillac. Nice. A pleasing pile of scintillac gleams at you from the bottom of the sack. Your crew crowd around, crooning appreciatively. My crooning crew? I should go to Estival. Need to terror. I can't remember what all I can do at Estival. Oh, holy shit, what is this? What is this? Holy crap, now this is a fancy looking place right here. Whoa. It's a crab hideaway. Wow, look at this place. This place is super fancy looking. Hideaway. On the back of a gigantic... It really is a crab. Or some kind of creature. Looks like a cyber crab. Right? On the back of a gigantic beast live exiles from every corner of the Neath. Here gather the traitors, heretics, artists, fools, and the too honest. Oh, this sounds like a cool place. I could live here. Despite possessing a range of radically different ideologies, these outcasts live together peacefully. Oh, I can do lots of stuff here. Let's check the shops. No shops available. There's nothing available for you here. Perhaps once, but not now and not for you. Alright, let's get a port report. Hold on, no. First, slow my fucking roll. Let's save. Port report. Explore the city. Record the habits of those that dwell within. A city of strict custom. Most hideaway dwellers toil to strengthen their city against disease-crushing weight. Those that don't, instead, prepare for that night's festival. And all without a word spoken aloud. If they need to communicate, the people of Hideaway rely on a strict system of acutely formal gestures. Now have a port report Hideaway. A city in constant repair set upon the back of a great beast. The price of peace is profound. Alright, I can buy a memento from the slow-blinking vendor. She touches her lips and tilts her head back. Her fingers travel down her throat to her belly, which she pats. That'll be the trade. Goods for food. A matter of luck. And I use supplies. I can aid the sprightly visionary. A small man with liver spots on his head and wispy white hairs on his chin is struggling to roll a wheel of heavy cabling. Okay, I could join a festival. Though you do not reside in Hideaway, the people of the city will allow you to participate in their festivals if you aid in the preparation for them. They'll even be grateful to have extra help. That uses my something awaits you. Where do they store their goods? Perhaps they have something to trade. Or I can deliver... Oh, I had this scholar that I was supposed to bring to Hideaway, and we just found Hideaway. I've been carrying this guy around for a while. Deliver the Scholar of Lost Causes. The bandaged scholar surveys the miserable crowd with open disdain. Yes, these should suffice. Let's deliver him. Destined for frustration. The last you see of the scholar, he is trying to get an artist to answer his questions and shaking in frustration. A crowd seems to be closing around him. I've lost my Scholar of Lost Causes. I've gained 100 echoes. Alright. Where do they store their goods? Perhaps they have something to trade. They do not have much to offer, but maybe you'll find something of interest. Visit the shops tab. Oh, hey, now they have something. Exile Bazaar. People of Hideaway have little to offer, just some oddities from the Z-bed. I could sell sapphires here and get muter salt. I could sell candles. Wow, it looks like they'll pay really well for candles. Sell fuel. I could sell supplies. I could buy strange catches. Yeah, nothing here that's really exciting me a whole lot. Alright. Let's try buying a memento from the slow blinking vendor and see what happens. I have a lot of supplies. She passes you a dried blade of kelp. A musical score is written on it. You hum the tune. Isn't it the melody those mushroom hawkers would whistle? Yes, the one banned by the Ministry of Public Decency after most of the hawkers were arrested in Port Carnelian for attempting to restore the fungal forest through political bloodshed. How curious. A dried blade of kelp with a musical score written on it. Now that is not something I've seen before. I will admit that's pretty unique. Lost a supply but gained a memory of distant shores. I could aid the sprightly visionary now. Let's try that. Together, you roll the wheel through Hideaway. You pass women lugging blowtorches and bags of cement, and men trying to smile as they put on diving suits. Eventually, you pass through an iron gate to a workroom. At the room's center is a deep pit. A large electrical alternator looms against the back wall. The visionary plugs the cable into the alternator and slowly feeds the rest down into the pit. When finished, he writes a short message in the notebook chained to his wrist. Thank you. Usual helps working on faulty line. May need you in future. As he hands you the note, he looks up, revealing his neck. It's one huge scar. Oh, I see. He's lost his ability to speak. Has everyone here lost their ability to speak? You help the sprightly visionary set up an alternator. He has a mighty and terrible hope. So I could help him again. Let's help him again. He's industrious for one so old. He's always running around the city, aiding his cablemen or repairing electrical faults. Whoa! That's what the sprightly visionary looks like, huh? That's not what I was expecting exactly. He passes a toolbox to one of his workers and rushes over to you. He writes in the notebook chained to his wrist. Supply his engines with fuel. The visionary passes you a scrap from his notebook. Alternator engines near dead. Need fuel. Provide? 7 fuel, ouch. It's a lot, but I suppose I can spare it for now. Why not? My men will transport. Lunch? His room is spacious, if rather bare. A filament bulb shines pleasantly within a pink paper lantern. His plaster walls are cracking. A hand-drawn portrait of a dark woman hangs above his bed. The visionary clears maps of Hideaway from his table and prepares coffee. As he passes your brew, bellows of pain engulf the room, and all Hideaway trembles for a moment as the beast below writhes. But the visionary doesn't spill a drop of the coffee. Once things settle, he writes a note. Forgive Temtum. He hurts now/then. Temtum must be the name of the giant crab creature. Coffee? And please, call me Eric. You helped Eric power an alternator. Oh, he just gave me 10 bags of coffee beans. Holy shit. That's nice. And I've lost some fuel. Fixing a fault. For this I need... I have too much terror. I need to come back when I have just a little bit of terror. Maybe the festival will reduce my terror. Let's join the festival. Though you do not reside in Hideaway, the people of the city will allow you to participate in their festivals if you aid in the preparation for them. They'll even be grateful to have extra help. One of the dwellers bows deeply before you and performs the gesture of friendship by showing you her wrists and crossing her arms to touch her shoulders. She then fumbles in her pockets before she presses a small shell into your hand. It's curled like a wave. A little claw darts out and nips at your finger. The woman coos at the tiny creature. You've gained a live specimen. That's all for now. Oh, here we go. The Festivals of Hideaway. Though everyone in Hideaway has a night to celebrate a festival of their own making, most dedicate their efforts to one of 3 great events. First is the silent reel. Throughout the night, the people will dance. There will be no music, nor any obligations to conform to a particular style. Man, dancing with no music would be fucking weird. Or there's the hour of our reflection. There is a dweller too ancient and too mad to help maintain Hideaway. Instead, the suggester serves a ceremonial role. During the festival, they bark out a phrase, which everyone then represents through art. Invariably, the topics are variations on handsome Temtum's generosity or Hideaway's superb lifestyle. The suggester. Too ancient and too mad. Too much booty in the whole dance, yeah. Or there's the rainbowing. Revelers will indulge in the colorful feast featuring the finest food Hideaway can manage to find in the abyssal depths. Well, I'm always one for some silent dancing. I don't know about y'all. So let's check out the silent reel. The festival has begun. You've lost 1 supply. You're participating in the silent reel. A high lattice has been constructed over the festival square. It holds dozens of filament bulbs. A spool has been suspended in the center of the square. It is wound with a dull puce ribbon. Wow, puce is never a good thing. When the ribbon is entirely unwound, the festival will end. I can dance. The master of the dance holds the ribbon in his teeth. He is dancing through the crowd. Or I can leave the festival early. You're a visitor. Surely they won't mind if you decline to participate. Oh, we're gonna dance. Don't even trip. We're gonna dance. Gaining terror from dancing. The master claps his hand at a shuffling dancer. The shuffler gives a smile, but his eyes fill with hate. He bites a section of ribbon, fixing it between his teeth, and joins the master's dance. Festival continues. I just gained terror from a hateful dancer. I can keep dancing. How long has it been? The master of the dance has obliged more to bite onto the ribbon, but he still has so many left to claim. Let's keep dancing. In for a penny, in for a pound, as they say. You must have been dancing for a few hours now, but it just goes on. The only relief from the quiet is the irregular clap from the master of the dance. The great chain of dancers weaves through the crowd without a noise. There are formerly holy teachers, once monarchs, warriors without battles, short-changed merchants, a growing and ceaseless parade. Some move with grace, others only sway in their steps out of obligation. The spool continues to unreel. The festival will soon conclude, gain 5 fragments, and even more terror. Just keep dancing. It has been many hours. They cannot maintain this forever. Or I can sing. The people look like they're on the edge of miserable tears, and who wouldn't be dancing in this awful quiet? Give them a song. I feel like singing would be a terrible idea that would really upset these people. I'm just going to keep dancing. Eventually, the master claps at you, and you bite the ribbon and take your place. Shortly thereafter, the spool unwinds completely. There is a modest bang, and the air fills with fluttering papers. On each, a resident of Hideaway has written their secret. The dancers fall on them in a frenzy. You snatch as many as you can. The one whose mercy led to colonial establishment, the seller of names, the one whose theories on is not proved too dangerous, the one who stormed the city. What's this? The name is too smudged to read. Gain 3 more terror. It would be more difficult to participate in the festivals of Hideaway for a while. Because the dwellers of Hideaway don't trust those from outside. They're wary of me. But I got 3 Z stories, 3 tales of terror, 3 visions of the surface. That's pretty nice. Join a festival. They don't like trespassers learning their customs. Festivals will become increasingly costly to attend. Oh, I see. Now it costs 5 supplies to join a festival instead of just 1. Rejoin the festivals. Basically, if I have something awaits me, I can... Which represents the fact that you left for a while and came back. Kind of like the squatters in Frostbound. Tea party time. Alright, well... I think I'm done here for right now. I think so. I think I'm gonna go... to Estival. Or Sophia, as it's actually called. Oh, it just crashed. Like a genius. I'm pretty sure that my colony is like completely done here. My kingdom. As the one ray of sunlight comes down from the surface. My colony, perhaps my kingdom. Can't remember exactly what all I can do here. Increase your population to 77. Declare yourself a nation. Oh yeah, see, I have everything I need to declare myself a nation. But if I do it, it ends the game. So I can collect fuel, I can repair my ship. I can reduce my terror. Gather supplies. Get a port report. Alright, so I gain 8 supplies. Spend some time ashore. Get rid of my terror. Repair my ship. This little dry dock isn't exactly the Admiralty shipyards, but you can manage repairs that would be impossible at Z. My hull's back up. Land is yours, the ship is yours. It's a lot of fuel. Alright, let's just sit here for a second. Some Estival sitting. Now we've got some good times. Some good Sunless Sea times. Estival port sitting. Spent a lot of time doing this. The Z is wide and dark. Terror is increasing. Hashtag silent dancing. There we go. Need 8 supplies. And one of them to reduce my terror down to 0. And then we're good to go. We're good to go. And now we will descend to the depths, the dark, dark depths. There's something down here. What is that? +1 fuel. What's this? $100 fragments. Cost of 5 terror. Another whale bones. We'll collect unknown toxins again. Oh, we failed. You and your crew don diving suits and swim out, armed with flasks and bone saws. It takes 3 of you to hold a rib in place, another 2 to wield the saw. Someone slips. The saw descends too fast, biting deep into the bone. There is a snap. You're all covered in viscous liquid that spews from the break. That sounds gross. I shouldn't be going this way. I should be heading back. What was the thing that I needed to do that I needed less terror for? Scattered bones. Bones lay scattered and gnawed on the Z-bed. Rib cages yawn open, breastbones shattered. Fragments of skull litter the sand like pearls. I can take a closer look at the bones. What killed these people? I can scavenge the bones. Perhaps something of value remains. Or I can gather up the bones. Perhaps you mean to bury them. Perhaps you have other uses in mind. Let's gather up the bones. Gain 2 lamentable relics. You and your crew don suits and descend to the Z floor. These bones have been badly treated. Most are little more than splintered fragments. Occasionally, a spinal column still cleaves to a skull like a long tail, or a torso remains intact. You gather up what you can. Back in the Zub, you throw a shroud over the sorry remains. The Zub. Something awaits me. Go back to Hideaway. Back to Hideaway. Rejoin the festivals. Up the sprightly visionary. Ah, this is the thing I couldn't do because I didn't have enough terror. Or I had too much terror. Now I don't have too much terror. Eric passes you a scrap from his notebook. I need particularly steady hands to repair cabling. Assist? In the center of Hideaway is a small building with decorative paper windows, locked behind an iron gate nobody dares touch. Eric unlocks it and then leads you inside. In the center of the room is a raised brass panel and a chair. The panel is covered in switches and gauges. Central control of Hideaway. Requires rerouting. I'll point the what where. He hands you a pair of tweezers and unscrews the back of the panel, exposing a mess of wire. The operation itself is simple, if slow, but the results are immediate. The lights outside flicker before shining brighter. Eric flips a switch. The ground shakes and you're thrown left. He flips another. You're thrown right. Eric beams as he helps you steady yourself and pats you on the back. Sorry for that. All's well now. You've done a great service. Eternal thanks. I've saved Eric's central control board, and I gained a secret, which is always nice. I actually have a lot of secrets right now. I should raise some of my stats. Like pages especially. But I don't have any officers that raise pages, I don't think. That's why my pages is so shitty. You can do mirrors. You can do hearts. You can do veils. You can do iron. Veils. Veils. Veils, but with only a chance. Get you some hearts and some veils. Tell you her secrets if you tell her yours. Complex knowledge. She's serious once she gets talking. There's hard edges under the bluff and banter. I'll take my veils up to 80. And let's get some hearts as well. Yeah, that's good for now. Let's try buying another memento from the slow blinking vendor and see what we get. Let's just save real quick. Another so it's exactly the same. I thought it might be something different randomly, but not really. Let's rejoin the festivals. Though you do not reside in Hideaway, the people of the city will allow you to participate in their festivals if you aid in the preparation for them. It has been long enough since you last attended that they feel comfortable with you joining them once again. The wary of you quality has gone. So, let's try the hour of our reflection this time. Festival has begun. You lost one supply. The dwellers of Hideaway have collected rubbery, pliable fish flesh and piled it in the festival square. Once the theme is announced, the dwellers pick out the choicest material from which to build their offerings. I can join in. You don't know enough of their culture to risk something more adventurous. A miniature Temtum is sure not to give offense. Or I can leave the festival early. You're a visitor. Surely they won't mind if you decline to participate in their customs. Let's join in. From the pile of debris, you pick out fresh slabs of meat and sharp spines. It isn't difficult to slice the pale flesh into, roughly, the shape of Temtum. The spines do an admirable job of holding your little Temtum together, too. The near-forgotten betrayer, across from you, beams at your work. He tries to avoid looking at the blithe fiddler beside him, who crams spine after spine into the man-shaped slab she's created. You gotta watch out for those blithe fiddlers. Gained a terror and a tale of terror. I can cut my hand. The near-forgotten betrayer next to you bites his thumb until the droplets of blood ooze. It isn't an offering without something personal. Or I can leave the festival. Fine, I'll cut my hand. Hair, or a nail, or blood, or tears. You scratch the palm of your hand, and a streak of blood swells up. You squeeze it onto the lump of flesh you're working on. There, a scarlet mark runs between Temtum's eyes. Others around you are more generous, slicing deep into their fingers, then daubing the blood under their offerings with tenderness. Their expressions are beatific. Others force a smile, chew at their nails, and split the pieces into their offerings. That's gross. Alright, so these people are a little bit crazy. Gain some terror. Gain 5 fragments. I can explain my offering. A parade to a black guttering hole begins. Each creator takes a moment to name their offering before throwing it into the offering pit. Or I can take my offering with me. Forge your blood and artistic soul into this. You could probably get a tidy sum for it elsewhere. Why not keep it? No, I'll explain my offering. They name their offerings in turn. 1,000 helping fingers for my neighbor. The miracle that brought me here. Deportment. You show the dwellers of Hideaway your offering. It was difficult with the limited materials, but you've managed to give the lump of meat and guts a passing resemblance to the shape of Temtum. They seem pleased, but more impressed by your skill with their sign language. You manage to convey that Temtum is important, even to you, a stranger. Your offering is the last to go down the offering chute. The suggester gestures their wish for the good health of all, Temtum most especially. The people of Hideaway take this as their cue and depart. I gain 7 memories of distant shores and 3 terror. Alright, cool. Cool. I don't think there's anything else here I really want to do. I think we're done in Hideaway for the moment. Next episode, we will leave here and go explore some more stuff and figure out what we can do, and it'll be exciting. But that's going to do it for this one. So thank you for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Sunless Sea Zubmariner expansion.